Let me know if you can hear me okay, because I'm kind of far from the camera and I don't own a mic. So let's get growing. I am. We're all growing here. I'm just opening a box from Greenstock. That, if you don't know, that right there is a Greenstock garden tower. They had a ridiculous sale going on recently. This lid is usually like $25 or something. And I was like, oh, $7? I need that. I need that in my life. There's also a little watering disc, but I can't really show you what to do with that yet. Hello, Bernie. Good day. How art thou? I could not get the matching color because the matching color was not on sale, and I like a sale, so. Oh, they sent me seeds. Look at the little ladybug sticker. That's so cute. Oh my gosh. They always send little gifts in their packages, even when it's a sale, I guess. We got cherry bell radishes. Cool. They have really nice packaging. That's cool. Thou art tired and ready to go home. Hope everyone is having a great day. What company is this from? It's Greenstock. Greenstock Garden. Let me see if I can find the bigger picture for you. Well, they've got lots of advertising, but none of it just straight up says Greenstock. Their packaging is all really cool. It says life is beautiful and has flowers and bees on it. Yeah, Greenstock Vertical Garden Planter, MK, is what it's called. There it is. I don't know why I couldn't find that. 12 days of doorbusters, November 20th to December 1st, if you guys need any vertical planters that are soil and not hydroponic. Get out of there. We're rooting for you. They have a lot of other things too, not just the planters. These are like seed starting cells and stuff. I don't have any of that. And a little dill sticker. I put stickers on my seed box, which is actually a photo storage container that I just keep seeds in. Yeah, I told you guys earlier, fun, I might try some vertical planters or towers next year in the outside garden. Yeah, I really like these. They come in, I'll show you the actual planter itself here in a second, but they come in two different depths. So there's like the original and the leaf. This one is the original. The leaf planter is about half as tall, so you can put things in there that don't have quite as large of root systems. I've been seeing a lot of people grow mini tomatoes and peppers in here, regular sized peppers. Put the salad bowl lettuce back in their little cute envelope so I don't lose anything. I can't get over that box. That's so stinking cute. I gotta check them out. Can always use more pots for Spring Garden 2026. Absolutely. I never don't need more garden stuff. It was really funny because the UPS driver came into my yard and he like looked at me because I was in my garden and then looked at the box that has a bunch of flowers and bees all over it, and I was like, it's pretty obvious. It's pretty obvious what that is. Here's the Greenstock itself, just so you can see the actual size of it and how deep. I've got cilantro up here and radishes here in the middle. So they're pretty deep. I had my strawberries in here, and one of my more recent videos was me actually taking the strawberries out of here and putting them into little pots because I don't think the strawberries need that much depth, and because over last winter a lot of my strawberries died in the Greenstock. They do sell like big cover things that zip over them for keeping them warm, but I don't have one of those, so I just put my strawberries in pots. I'm probably gonna order bare root strawberries, so I actually know what variety the strawberries are when I have them, because all the ones I have right now are just random from mostly my mom going to auctions and buying me random strawberry plants, so I have no idea what they are. Hey, TFP in the chat, what's up? Let me turn this around. There we go. Yeah, I just bought this lid. It's adorable, has a little bee on it, and the flower opens so that you can water it. This is just to keep like leaves and whatnot out of the top of my green stalk. That's what we're working on. Well, that's what I was working on. Just got delivered today. What did you have for dinner, TFP? There it is. Like I said, the color does not match because I'm cheap, so I didn't get the matching color. But that's fine. I'm okay with that. And I only got one, so this one still doesn't have a lid, but that's fine. I'm still so happy about this arch trellis, you guys. I look at it every day when I leave my house, and I'm like, man, that is just magical. Even though I got it put in way too late and don't have much growing on it right now. Yeah, so this is just the time of day that I'm kind of out here looking around because I just like to be out here. So I was just checking on the lettuces and stuff that I planted the other day, and I think there's 2 little lettuce sprouts. My strawberries are doing well thus far. Got some growing outside and some in the grow tent. That's awesome. Strawberries have been difficult for me for many different reasons. I don't know. Well, I do get strawberries, but it's like, what am I going to do with 4 strawberries every time I pick them, except for just eat those 4 strawberries and continue on with my life? I never get enough at once where I can actually make something out of them. So what do you guys want to see? I'm just, I already kind of looked around at everything, but I always like to talk about plants, so let me show you my giant bell pepper. It's probably not giant in general, but it's giant to me. It's the biggest one I've ever grown. In bed, can't move. Oh no, that's not good. Hold on. Show us your carrots. Okay, I can show you my carrots. Turn this around and be careful not to show the front of my house, because usually I can just edit that out. And right now, I obviously cannot edit that out. Here's my carrots. These ones are the little finger carrots. I need to thin them terribly. Show us some plants, Bernie. Working on it, working on it. So there's a lot planted down in there. And this one is the coral carrots. This is the one that the cats tried to destroy, but obviously they failed because we've got carrots growing. Funny story, I used to be severely allergic to strawberries as a kid, but now I can eat them like candy. How does that work? You just grow out of an allergy? That's interesting. How long have they been in the pot? When will they be ready? I think I planted these just over a month ago, and technically, as soon as they start heading up, I could use them, but I'll probably wait until after Thanksgiving. Maybe if I'm lucky, some of these little finger, because they're smaller, will be ready for Thanksgiving, but I doubt it with the little amount of sun that we've been getting. These ones, can't imagine being allergic. They're so yummy. Yeah, that's for sure. I'm not allergic to any foods as far as I know, and I'm very happy about that because I love food. These are the bolero carrots, the pelleted seeds. Yeah, they are really coming along, MK. I have this on top because these seeds are much more expensive, and I don't want the cats to dig these ones up. So they're like actually pre-separated, so I don't have to thin these. A couple of them are probably kind of close together, but mostly doing good. But it is getting tough to put this metal thing back on without crushing the carrots. Got it. I actually just got done cleaning some cat poop out of this container. Freaking cats. Yeah, effing cats, princess. They're growing so fast. Yeah, carrots don't really mind being cold until it gets to like actually 30 at night, they kind of still keep growing. And we're only averaging in like the 50s overnight right now. So there's the carrots. There's actually a bunch more carrots planted than that, but you can't see them. Cat poop equals extra fertilizer. Yeah, once it breaks down, like there's a giant pile of compost over there. Can they just poop in that and then it can be extra fertilizer? What the heck? I'm gonna come all the way up in my yard to poop there instead of in the giant litter box that way. But here's my pepper. This is for sure the biggest bell pepper I've ever grown. That's crazy to me. There it is. I'm showing it to you right now. Like I said, it's probably not giant in general, but it's giant to me. I'm very happy about that. And there's a ton on this plant too. All these plants are kind of jumbled together in the middle. I love looking at the underneath of the pepper plants. It's much more satisfying than looking at the top. Anyone want a cat? Mine keeps getting into the grow tent through one of the vents at the bottom. No, I'm good. I have one cat, and he is a beautiful little baby, and he is a good boy, and he's the only cat I will ever need. And he does go in my grow tent, but only to lounge in the sun, not to hurt things. Not show you my house. Yeah. So here's the, oh no, there's my house. So here's the bell pepper. I don't know if you can tell how big it actually is in the other way for the camera. Makes it look different. I have a bunch of stray cats that have claimed my garage. Now I have to fight them and retake my backyard. Yeah, I get that. Let's just look around the whole garden, I guess, because why not? We're here. So way over there is the carrots I just showed you. And all of these yellow containers, and these black ones, are ready for me to plant garlic, but I'm trying to wait until the first frost actually comes to plant the garlic so that it can vernalize properly and not sprout in the fall. That one's also ready for garlic. This is the spiciest pepper that I grow. It's called the datil pepper. And Princess, every time you say, what is yours called, like the Doe Hill pepper or something, every time I'm like, oh, I grow that. And then, no, I don't, because this is not called that. It's called datil, D-A-T-I-L. I think it's like 300,000 on the Scoville scale. They turn to orange when they're ripe. I had a serious question. I'm terrible at growing carrots. Did I miss your question? I probably did. Let me scroll. A recommendation on soil mix for carrots. Yeah. So for me personally, I use mostly potting mix, and then I mix in some really fine compost. But if you're talking about like making your own soil mix, I'd probably do like 20% sand, 20%, no, probably 50% compost, 20% sand, and then the rest other, like if you want perlite or vermiculite or something like that, but something really loose but that can drain really well, because obviously carrots are tap roots. So if the tap root is going down and they meet anything that's really chunky, it's going to divert them and cause them to split and stay small. So honestly, just really well draining, really fine soil, and don't pack it down when I plant the carrots. I just put the seeds on top and let it sit, because they don't like really dense soil. So most of that is actually Happy Frog potting soil, and then with the finest layer, not fine as in like very thin layer, fine as in the pieces individually of the compost are really fine, and I separated out as much as I could so that I could put it on there, because carrots are specific like that. I know nothing about soil. I could learn a thing or two. Yeah, your lemon tree needs help. Bernie, just keep trying, never give up. That's for sure. There's quite a few things in my garden that are just, it's taken me ages to really get them working. Peppers have never really been that hard. Tomatoes have never really been that hard. But for some reason, everyone's like, oh, if you're gonna start growing, start with like lettuce and spinach. And so I did. And then that was really hard. I was like, what the heck? Why is this rotting? Like, why is my spinach just rotting at the base? It's called hardening off, when you keep your soil, not hardening off, dampening off, when you keep your soil too wet and the stem literally disintegrates into mush. So yeah, I've had my problems. My outdoor garden and I have been getting I've been getting the native soil able to grow plants, but carrots don't like it at all. Is there like a lot of rocks or wood chips or anything in it like that? Or is it clay? I have clay soil here. That's why I decided to grow in containers, because the clay just compacts so much and nothing will grow in it that doesn't have a really hardy stem. Yeah. Oh, don't say root rot too loud. No, I don't think I've, maybe on a couple plants ever have I had root rot, but they've all been indoor plants. So I just take them out of their soil, clean the roots, rinse them off, keep them in water for a little bit, and then repot it when they get happier again. Bernie, call animal control to get them cats evicted. Yeah, for sure. Tell them, send them to my house too. Evict mine as well. Here's my pepper plant that has about 1 million peppers on it. Animal control won't do anything. I've tried. Yeah, no, that makes sense to me. I don't even have animal control in my area. We live so far out in the country that our animal control is cops. And after you call enough times, the cops are like, listen, keep the animal or get rid of it, you know? And I'm like, man, I don't want to do that. So these bell peppers are quite a bit smaller than the other ones, but there are so many of them that I feel like it is gonna be plenty. I don't really need them to be giant, I guess. I'm actually the only one in my house who eats peppers a lot anyway. And by a lot, I mean without turning them into a mush that doesn't feel like a pepper at all. So tiny ones is just fine for me. But there's over 20 on this plant. It's just kind of leaning into the other plant. Oh my gosh, those branches are heavy. My goodness. I broke one off of here the other day, and it's like I can noticeably tell that the rest are getting bigger faster. Bernie, that's taxpayers going to waste for you. Yeah, for sure. Taxes don't get used for anything around here. My roads are terrible. My police force is terrible. Taxpayers' money. Yeah, I got you. Here's another pretty big one. Not as big as the other one, but this one's actually starting to change color. I don't know what it is about being in the garden after a rainy day, but it just makes it so much better for some reason. So aesthetic to see all the raindrops on everything. Oh, Princess, you'll love this. Look at my parsley. We all know how much you love parsley. I think this is technically 6 different plants. Yeah, there's like 3 crowns down in there. Pepper's looking so good. Thank you. This year has been so good for peppers, even though I almost killed them all while it was hot. I don't know what that is, but I will take the recipe. I'm not even going to try to say that because I don't want to sound dumb, but sure, yeah, I'll take it. So here's the difference between the soil that I did nothing to and soil that I refreshed about 7 weeks ago. This one I added my own homemade compost and mixed it all together, and obviously the plants are doing pretty good. And in this one, I did not add any compost or amend the soil at all. I did give it some liquid fertilizer, parsley, and grain salad. Oh, tabbouleh. Gotcha. I would have said tabbouleh, so that's fine. We all have trouble pronouncing things. So yeah, there are actually peppers on this plant, mostly because of the liquid fertilization. Obviously, that soil needs some help. But I'm not going to bother putting new compost on any of this until the frost comes and kills it all so that I can just cut it down instead of having to work around them, because that was not fun. Your garden is looking amazing. Thank you so much, MK. Thank you so much. I wish I could have spent more time out in the garden this season instead of just kind of letting it do what it does, but life happens. So here's some Sugar Rush peach peppers. I really love these. They are very delicious, but they take so long to ripen. So even though there's a bunch on here, I'm gonna have to figure out what to do with them while they're green, because there's no way that there's gonna be enough sun for these to ripen by the time the frost comes. The frost could come legitimately any night now. Like, I just check the weather right before I go to bed every day to make sure that I don't need to go chop some peppers down first. Oh, TFP, you know that one pepper in your grow tent that's just not acting right even when the other ones are? Look how happy this one is. And this Serrano pepper is just the unhappiest guy ever. He's like, no, you know what? I don't want to be growing anymore. Could you kill me, please? Where's Lesopedia when we need him? Yeah, for sure. He could tell me how to make these tomatoes ripen faster. There's 8 of these super big tomatoes on here, and they're just all so green. I saw someone at the end of last summer make an apple pie out of green tomatoes, which sounds absolutely ridiculous, and I'm like, that's not gonna work. But I have watched them for a while, and it kind of worked. So I'm kind of thinking about it. If the tomatoes don't get ripe enough, then I might as well use them for something. Yummy fried green tomatoes. Yeah, that's what everyone says, but I don't like them. I don't know what it is. They're just not, they're not yummy to me. I'll make some for other people. My mom really likes them. I've put them in brown bags and they ripen that way. Yeah, I'm sure that they will ripen on the counter. I just meant, like, if there's anything I can do to make them ripen on the plants faster, I'd like to. I'm probably soon going to cut off any of this extra growth, and look how tall they are. I don't need all that up there. I just need the tomatoes to ripen, so I'm probably gonna cut them back pretty good. And like, I'm pretty sure this entire branch here doesn't have any fruit on it whatsoever, so I can just detach that so they can, you know, all the nutrients can go to the ones that have fruit rather than just vegetation. Because here's the bottom of that plant, and this is what the plant looked like all through July and August and most of September. And then I started fertilizing it again and it came back to life. I really didn't think it was gonna make this many tomatoes though. That's quite a few. Some of them have cat facing on the bottom, which is usually a calcium uptake problem. Alexa messed me up and she said 3 your time was 7 p.m., which was totally off. You're 2 hours behind. I actually started later than I intended. I started at 4:30, so right now it's 4:53 my time. But I did think that you were off when you said that. I think you're only 2 hours difference behind. Yeah, you're ahead of me. But that's fine. We all found it. I actually had some technical problems trying to schedule the live anyway, so I'm surprised we're here. Oh, I didn't say. Those are Dr. Witchy yellow tomatoes. Those are my favorite kind. Highly recommend. We've got these little guys. So these are supposed to be a cherry tomato. When I bought them, these are from Wild Boar Farms, which is a pretty popular guy who does tomato breeding. I'm sure Les knows who he is. 3:48 p.m. here. It's weird watching people from the future. Bernie, I know exactly what's happening in the future. You should be afraid. But these are from Wild Boar Farms. Oh no! It has a crack! No! It rained all day yesterday, and I had been watering these a little bit every day to try and get them prepared for the rain, but they were not terribly prepared. That's so sad. I'll still eat it, but that's lame. I'm gonna have to cut them open and make sure there's no bugs in there now. These are called Norwood Miners. cherry tomatoes. I'd call them more of a salad tomato size. Like, that is pretty big for a cherry tomato, but it's probably not going to get much bigger than this. And usually they only get about this size. Those ones are pretty big. But they are red with orange stripes, I believe, once they actually ripen. Oh no, use the correct ones for seeds. Yeah, I totally can use the correct ones for seeds. I actually don't save a lot of seed myself right now because I feel like I just want to learn a couple things at a time, and seed saving was not one of those things. I don't have anything to like put them in, or like those little packs. That's why when TFP was showing the packs that Les sent her, I was like, man, I need some of those, because I probably have like 4 Ziploc bags full of seeds waiting for hot peppers, various, to finish drying up on the countertop. Future cooking use. Then chop up for future cooking use. Yeah, I have a ton of peppers in my freezer right now, just whole actually. I didn't even chop them up, I just put them in the freezer because they started to get a little squishy on my counter at the time that there were tons of peppers coming in, and I didn't want to waste them, so I just stuck them in there. But yeah, I don't save very many seeds. If I do save seed, it's from flowers, because for some reason flower seeds are so expensive in comparison. But I've been trying this year to... Hello, Hash! Look, Hash is here. Hash was up in my channel liking a bunch of my videos earlier. Being nice? Like, what? MK, do you make a seasoning blend with your peppers? Yes, do you? We need to know. We need to know. Oh, I forgot. Look at this. I said a while ago that there was this volunteer Cosmo. I said in a video, I mean. And I was like, I'm not going to be able to see that bloom. But it just wanted to do its best to prove me wrong. It's like, girl, don't tell me what I can do or what I can't do. Come on. I share with the chickens, sprinkle some pepper seeds on their feed during the winter. That's awesome. Chickens can't taste spice, so I have also done that same thing because my mom and dad live right next door, and I just gift them produce a lot, but my mom loves spicy food, but she can't eat it anymore, and my dad just doesn't like it at all, so anytime I give them anything spicy, they just give it to their chickens. I wish I had some chickens, but I don't. Pepper flakes, stupid word changer. Gosh, word changer. Ugh. Anybody need a truck? There's some people in the chat that always talk about cars, so I just thought maybe you'd want that. Here's all the strawberry plants I removed from the grain stock. Like I said, no idea what kind of strawberries they are. I do know a couple of the varieties, actually. Some of them are Ozark Beauty, and some are called Honey-O, but I don't know which ones are which. It could be any of these. Some in hanging baskets, just for funsies. It's not just for fun, it's because I ran out of small pots, but, you know, we can pretend it's for fun. TFP, this is my first year of trying it out. Nice. Always gotta try something new every year. Keep on growing and learning. Oh god, I almost tripped on my camera. We've got a little bit of English thyme right here. I really didn't think it was gonna come back. The entire plant was super dead like this, and one day I was like, is that a tiny bit of green down there? What? These strawberries look happy. Yeah, I hope they are. This is brand new soil that I just put them in. Well, used potting soil and brand new compost, so they should be pretty happy in there. The soil that they were in was getting pretty terrible and hydrophobic. Princess, I'm sure you don't have to worry about things being hydrophobic. You couldn't imagine. Here is some more of those Sugar Rush peach peppers. I really love them. They are so good. They're so like fruity flavored in comparison to other peppers that are just spicy. These actually have flavor also. And there are a lot of peppers in there as well. Look at these tiny little peppers at the top. They're so cute. I think these are really interesting that they start out upside down like Tabasco peppers and then slowly... TFP, I'm like you, get distracted like a cat with a shiny thing, but it's coming, maybe by the weekend. That's funny. You get distracted like a cat, but you don't want any of the stray cats. You just want to be your own cat. That's cat energy, honestly. Great pepper plant. Thank you. Have you tried this kind, or you just think the plant itself looks good? Let's show Princess the Pippin's Golden Honey Pepper. You're really obsessed with your Chinese 5 color. The one that I was just looking at is called Sugar Rush Peach. Sugar Rush Peach is that one. And this one is Pippin's Golden Honey. This is the one that changes to a bunch of different colors before it's ripened. And the purple is the second to last, and there's a lot of purple peppers on here. No, I've never grown it. It looks really happy. Yay! I'm glad that the plants are happy in my care. I get sad when my plants get sad, so I'd much rather them be happy. Those look awesome. I see a yellow one back there. Yeah, probably. This one is about to get rid of all of its purple and turn orange. They go from like a green, like this is the yellow that I mean, but they start out really green, then they turn purple, then this yellow, and then orange. I don't see any orange ones on here right now because I pick them and eat them every time I come out in the garden. Same, a sad plant will ruin my day, right? Sad plants ruin every single day. What's up, Bobby? Making it to the live. Got oh, I'm getting too old to be squatting like this. This is chives right here. They're all flowering, and I'm just letting them flower and hoping that they drop their seed and then reseed themselves for me. But if the winter isn't too harsh, then it should live through. TFP, I want to grow some peppers and tomatoes. Haven't decided which ones to grow with. Yeah, same thing. MK, do you want large tomatoes or small ones? I promise I'll post the list tonight. We will believe it when we see it, TFP. MK, you need both for salsa. I'll tag you so you know. Okay. That's funny. That's funny. Everyone's bothering you about that list, huh? Oh, gosh. I don't know how long I'm going to be on here. I just kind of want to get used to doing lives in general because they make me nervous. MK, she's crippled. Give her a break. Hey, when you're crippled is the perfect time to do things online. Just put your laptop, have the puppy right next to you in bed, wear your fuzzy sweater that isn't at all warm. I prefer small tomatoes. Okay, small tomatoes like cherry tomatoes, or do you want like salsa making tomatoes? Because Roma tomatoes are small, but cherry tomatoes are what people usually want for fresh eating. This is great entertainment while I recover. Your garden looks great. Thank you so much. I'm glad it's good entertainment. Looks like you got a nice spot. Thank you. I try my best, Bobby. I gotta pull my thing up here so I don't have to keep sitting down. Legs are getting tired. Any size but those steak tomatoes. That's fair. That's fair. They do take a lot longer to ripen. You grow in soil, don't you? Because I don't know nothing about growing in hydroponic, and I don't want to steer you wrong. Any size but those steak tomatoes. That's funny. Oh, it's getting warm out here. Oh, I guess I have one more little spot that I didn't show you guys. Let's go look. Yes, in soil. My first try at hydroponic. What you growing? Sean, I'm growing a bunch of stuff. I'm growing all the things, basically. The end of the summer garden, beginning of the fall garden. So there's some summer stuff like peppers and tomatoes, but also carrots and lettuce. I checked out some of her videos earlier. She's got a nice container garden. Thank you, Hash. Look at you being so nice. What are the winters like in Missouri? Well, terrible. The winters are terrible here. I don't know. I guess they're not terrible to you, maybe, because you're in Canada. But the winters here is let's see, in like, right now, it's like 55 degrees outside, but if my hydroponics don't take, then TFP, you owe me one. You're lucky he doesn't know much about soil. Yeah, that's fair. Maybe he doesn't know, so he can't be mean. I'm always nice. To me, so far, yeah, for sure. But the winter here usually doesn't get terribly harsh until around Christmas. Can you grow cannabis out there? I'm sure I could. I don't, but I'm sure I could. Maybe not during the winter. I do have an indoor grow operation going, but I don't grow cannabis as of right now. Legally. Oh, yeah, legally I can. Yes, it is legal here in Missouri. I think legally I could grow something like 10 plants in flower at a time per person, per household, maybe? I'm not 100% sure. What are you, a cop? Even if you are, it's legal. Whatever. Do what you do. Bernie, protection mode. Ah, attack! Hash is nice to everyone, except TFP. Yeah, basically. Dang it, I'm trying to answer your question about Missouri in the winter. It kind of stays like this, rainy and cloudy and cold-ish through November, December, but still enough sun that things grow. But then January hits and we get like ice storms and freak thunderstorms and snow and then rain on top of the snow, so it turns into sleet in the road, and we live so far out in the country that they just don't take very good care of the streets and stuff. Like, we don't have enough infrastructure for them to really keep it nice, and I live down a dirt road, so my little tiny car does not like the winter here, and neither do I. But really, it's only January and February that are really harsh winter, and then the rest of the winter is kind of like extra cold fall, I guess. It's pretty wet in the winter around here. Only a friend would tell you the truth about your garden. Strangers either don't care or they lie. Yeah, that's fair. I definitely send pictures of my garden to my best friend and I'm like, hey, does this look good? And she's like, that looks so good. And I'm like, oh, okay, great. I just need other people's eyes sometimes. Sounds like you need a little tiny truck. I probably could benefit from a tiny truck, but my man has a big truck, so he just gives me a ride if necessary. But yes, a lot of people have tiny trucks that just kind of stay on their property. So cops around here don't really, she's got a nice Ford in the background. Yeah, that's true. There it is, that nice Ford. Sometimes I'm posting a video and I'm like, man, people are just gonna ask me about that truck and not say anything about my plants. And I don't know anything about that truck, so I can't answer their questions. I do know it's a 1990 Ford F-150. That's all I can tell you. Hash, how did you even see that? How long have you been lurking and not saying anything in the chat? I don't feel like I showed that recently. Hash, don't you dare talk about Ford. Oh no. Oh no, we're gonna fight in the comments now. I said it was nice. It is a short wheelbase. Look at you, Hash. I wouldn't have thought of that off the top of my head, but now that you say it, sounds correct. So yes. Hash is always lurking. Yeah, apparently. So this right here is a flower bed that I just made out of a bunch of rocks and some random pieces of wood that we had laying around. And I feel so bad for all of these zinnias that decided to volunteer themselves maybe a month or so ago, because they're looking so good and lush. I know Hash isn't a Ford fan. He's just pretending so that he can seem nice. But all these zinnias are just absolutely going to die when the frost comes. Those are daylilies over there with a couple of zinnias down in there. You're so fortunate to have all this outdoor space. Yeah, for sure. Technically, I live on 3 acres, I think this property is. But most of it is wooded, so this front bit is kind of all that we use. And obviously, by we, I mean me. Can you put them in an indoor container in soil? Yeah, I could. I just really don't want to potentially bring bugs in to infest my houseplants, because that's what happens every single time I try to save something and keep it inside. I've had aphids inside. The only thing I've never had inside is thrips, like you said you have had. I've never had thrips, but I get aphids and spider mites so bad. There's spider mites in my house right now, so I'm probably not gonna probably try and fight them. I'm just gonna try and get rid of the ones I already have and let these die, sadly. Might as well go see the truck, I guess. Here's the truck. Everyone loves this truck. It was supposed to be a project truck, but then life happens, and sometimes you don't get around to actually doing the projects. So all vehicles were, before they put all that computer crap in them. Oh yeah, for sure. Computers on vehicles suck. Here's my compost pile. It was covering the entire tarp when we first got it, and I've used that much of it. This is like, why are you going to top the zinnias? I do when I plan for them to continue growing, but those ones are going to die, so I'm not going to do anything with them. I'm just going to let them do what they do until the frost comes. I'm going to have to take out that bed anyway this year, because, like I said, I just built it out of rocks and wood. Okay, I'm probably not going to be out here much longer, guys. I've got to go inside and figure out dinner. Actually, I already know what dinner's going to be. I just mean I actually have to cook it. Let me see if I missed any of this chat. You have a great outdoor garden, Habitual. Thank you so much, Bernie. I really do enjoy it. Old Ford trucks are some of the best looking, in my opinion. I like the dent sides. That's fair. This truck has some dents. You want it, Hash? You wanna buy it? Oh my gosh, this ground is so uneven. I need a better tripod for this. Now I understand why you struggle to move us around on your tripod in the grow tent, TFP. Makes much more sense now. So let me know if there's anything specific that you guys want to see in my garden before I go. Do you have plans for a greenhouse? I don't currently have plans for a greenhouse. Eventually, maybe I will have a greenhouse. We've only lived in this place for about a year. Before we moved here, I had a little greenhouse thing. It was just not fully planned out, but I needed one build that my man put together as like a, maybe this will work, maybe it won't. But I couldn't bring it with me, so we left it there. I also have used those like pop-up green with the like metal poles. That's a greenhouse, but they really don't work as like a greenhouse. They don't hold enough heat to really grow anything. Yeah, a greenhouse thing. It worked as a greenhouse, and it was a permanent structure, but I wouldn't call it professional, but it was great for what I needed it for. It's still standing. Every time I drive by my old house, I'm like, man, I need that. Give it back. Or garlic/onion. Are you going beets or potatoes, garlic or onions? So I have the containers ready for garlic, but it hasn't gone in the ground yet because I want it to be getting actually freezing at night before I plant it. Onions I seed the 1st of January. That's not what it means. That's not what means. Onions I start growing the 1st of January for big onions. Other than that, I have the chives right there and green onions. A Ford guy can explain dent side to you. I'm sure they can. I'll ask my man about it later, but I don't know. I was just being funny. I figured that's not what it meant. I just didn't know what it meant, so I made any comment I could, to be honest. But is that one? Dent side or whatever you're calling it? I took you over here because TFP asked about beets. Oh, no, I'm not growing beets. That's my bad. These are radishes, actually. I was going to plant beets, but then I read the packet and it was like, oh, these take 95 days. And I said, oh, I don't have 95 days. So I planted carrots instead. But these are radishes. I actually don't love radishes. Radishes are good too. Well, I'm trying to grow them to make myself like them because the only way I've ever had them is in pozole, and I don't like them in that, and I don't like them fresh, but I want to roast them because people say that they roast them like potatoes and that they taste good, so maybe I'll try that. Down here is bok choy, and I don't have potatoes growing because they are not frost tolerant, so they would just die. I have to grow those through the spring and summer. Here's all my cilantro that I'm pretty sure I planted my cilantro like a week before TFP did, and hers is way bigger than mine. Obviously, she has an indoor grow. Never heard of roasted radish. Sounds interesting. That's the only way I've been hearing people talk about them recently. They're like, if you don't like radishes, roast them. I'm not really a Ford guy either, but I think it means the step on the side of the truck bed. Can make horseradish with them radishes. I'm sure I could. I actually have a variety of radish called wasabi radish that is meant for making horseradish. So, yes, I sure could. Over here we have a different kind of radish. These ones are French breakfast, and I grew these last year, and I did try them, and they're not terrible, but they're not great either. They're just like the least spicy radish that I have ever seen. Horseradish is good. Okay, I'll try and make some. And we've got a purple lady bok choy down here. These took forever to sprout, and the seedlings all look really bad. This one's on the north side, so it kind of looks bad regardless. But even these ones over here that are south-facing just aren't the happiest, and I don't know why. The soil is exactly the same as the other soil. They're getting watered on the exact same schedule as everything else. Maybe these ones don't like the cool weather as much. I'm not sure. These peas are doing pretty good. I love radishes. Bernie, you should grow them. They're like 25 days to maturity from planting seed to eating radishes, so definitely try that if you like radishes. A bump side would be 67 to 72. So no, that's a 90, a 1990, so that is not whatever that means. I love checking on these tendrils every day because right now this one's just like barely about to hook around the metal, and tomorrow it's gonna look like this mess. Horseradish will open up your sinuses, lol. It absolutely will. I'm pretty sure that's what it's meant to do. I'm not sure if it was meant to be a food. That's just a byproduct, maybe. I do grow radishes. What kind do you grow, Bernie? You have so much variety, Habitual. What a great garden. Thanks so much. Gotta go. My sis is calling. Have fun, gang. See you later, MK. Thanks for hanging out. Alright, I'm gonna show you guys this one last plant. Maybe this one last bit of this container before I go, because I love this container very much. Even though these are technically chives, I kind of treat them as an ornamental plant. I just think they look like a really pretty grass or something. And then obviously they have the flowers that I showed you. But if you guys have never heard of phlox, Phlox, it is so pretty. There's no flowers on here right now, but it is a perennial flower. And instead of just like, you know, the flower bud kind of opens up like this, they kind of twist open into a fan kind of shape. I love these so much. They grow naturally at the river around here, near water sources in general. And I noticed it one day. I had no idea what it was, and I was like, oh my gosh, I love that flower. That's so pretty. What the heck? And my love grabbed a stick and used the stick to dig it up out of the ditch next to the river. And we brought it home, and I planted it in my garden. It's been in my garden for like 4 years now. I freaking love this flower so much. So if you don't know what that is, please go look up phlox online because it's so pretty. Thank you so much for sharing. Got a jet and a temp dinner. Awesome live. Happy growing. Thanks, TFP, for stopping in. I will see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. my time. Hope your back feels better. Have a good night. And then the last little thing in this container are these snapdragons. These are dwarf snapdragons, and snapdragons are frost hardy. So these are some of the flowers that I'm trying to keep pretty nice in my garden while the frost is on its way. But one of my favorite things about snapdragons is their seed pods that look like tiny human skulls. So this is the seed pod and how it sits on the plant. And you turn it upside down, if I can see. This one doesn't have a really great face, but it looks like a little human face. I don't know if you guys can tell in that one, it's not focusing properly. But they look like human skulls when the flowers die. And that is so freaking cool to me. So when you want to save seeds from these, you're like, oh, let me just pick off that little human skull and dump the seed into my hand out of the mouth. It's basically like they're throwing up seeds, and I think it's freaking cool. There's not very many on that one. Let me check the other one. This one actually has flowers on it. Here they are, snapdragons. You're supposed to be able to like pinch the sides and make them talk to you, but it doesn't work as well on the mini ones. Dwarf, rather. This is dwarf burgundy bicolor, and this is just yellow. This one's actually red, and there's no skulls on that one either. Dang it, I wanted to show you guys the skulls. They really are cool. Okay, here's just a last little overview of what the garden is looking like right now. I do have to go inside and cook dinner. I'm making burgers. All right, everybody. Maybe I'll do a live another time later. I don't know. I don't do lives often, but I just wanted to check in and say hey, because I was out in the garden anyway, and I thought it sounded fun. So, I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for stopping in. I will look it up. She will look it up. I'm glad. Also look up those Norwood Miners tomatoes if you like those. Well, they split open. I should just get some seed and send it to you, to be honest. But thank you guys. I'll see you later. I'll chat with you guys in the comments in TFP's live tomorrow. Bye.